Okay. I'm about to have a good day. I'm about to have a good day.
Hi, this is Greg McCullough coming to you live again from the Alter Self Mindset Set. And today we're going to be discussing some things that are having to do with the Bible, some essentials that have to do with our spirituality, and we're going to try to get you more on point with your personal development and maybe trying to hit some goals. All right, so let me ask you a question before we get started. Are you ready to take control of your mindset? Are you ready to unlock your next level? If you would, just please book a free discovery call with Alter Self Mindset Set today. Let's map out your path to growth, success, and unstoppable confidence and breakthrough. And start now. Hi, this is Greg McCullough coming to you again from the set of the Alter Self Mindset. And we're studying today the mind. And everything that it takes to understand the mind is a lot of different lessons. But today we're going to study what is order. Order. If we want to try and understand how the mind works, it is like all possibilities that have never been put into order. It is totality. It has the beginnings and the ends to everything that we were trying to achieve. So in order for it to make a mark or build a picture in this world, in reality, and add meaning into the world, it has to have us to make choices. Choices that are put in order to bring things into reality. So it works with law. So all we have to do is try and use the law to our advantage. Okay? The way to understand that is we become a compilation of our thoughts, like they're seeds. And we're like this fertile ground. The mind's like the fertile ground, and it doesn't care what you plant as long as you plant. Now, it'll bring forth anything that you plant in as much abundance as you plant it, but it doesn't care what you plant in it. All that it cares is that you plant. But it's like sitting in a restaurant and you got the big menu there before you, but you don't put in an order. You're just sitting there. You're just passing time. And if you don't put in any order, it doesn't mean that it doesn't cost something to run the restaurant. Okay, so the person wants you to try and order something at the restaurant so that they can get the process going to produce value. Okay, so the mind is a very valuable thing. And it wants to produce all that it wants in this world. All it wants you to do is choose what you really want. Because there's only one of you. It works with your individuality. It produces everything that we see as reality. So if it's a tree, it produced it. If it's an animal, it produced it. If it's an invention, it produced it. There wasn't anything. If it's a song, anything that had to be a thought before it was a creation had to have a framework. And if it has to have a framework, it works with law. And then so it had to be a thought first. Everything that we do, everything we say, everything we feel, everything we act on has got to do with the connection of the mind. So if a person don't study the roots of how all this functions, you're going to have a problematic side that's like out of control. All right. So if this is the first time you've been oriented to the mind, or if this is something you thought about, you say to yourself, maybe in life, why can I only get so far? Or maybe, why do others achieve more? Or why do only a few get ahead? Why can some people fill the gaps and other ones can't? Why do have some people release more potential than others? Well, this is why. It's about this relationship with the mind and putting things into order that cause the potentiality to come out of it. You want to release more potential? Put more things into order. So just like Edison understood, he wanted to release more light. And all he done was put things enough in order that now we have light and all its potential to work from. So all we have to do to get things out of the mind, like an airplane or an automobile or a light bulb, something would really change the whole world, is we bring things into order. And that is a part about the framework. I wanted to try and explain a little bit about how we work and how all these possibilities come through us. Okay, so I'm going to pull in an illustration here. I created it a minute ago. Just sitting here looking at it. And this is a picture of the mind. Okay, Maxwell Maltz in the 60s, he came up with the idea that we needed people build things in mental pictures. So what we do is we take things on our belief system based off of pictures that we build. Okay, and it's the emotional pictures that we build in things that cause it to be a belief. Okay, and we take belief on two levels. We got a conscious belief and a subconscious. Okay, our subconscious mind takes its orders from the conscious mind. Now, so while we're awake and we got, these hours in the daytime, we're programming the conscious mind to give its orders in compilation to the subconscious mind. Everything that we consider to be a feeling or an emotion or a transition in a relationship toward others, all those things are encoded with information that the subconscious mind then takes to all the potential and then decides what order it will be released in for the next day. Now, this is what you have to set up on the framework for. You have to say, I'm the person. You have to believe in your conscious mind that the subconscious mind's being programmed. And then you have to take it in your belief system. So how do you program this subconscious mind? If this subconscious mind is the thing that's doing all this potential release, how do we program this thing? Well, there's two ways to program it. You can program it through a consistent repetition of information of whatever framework you choose, or you can wait for an emotional impact. Okay, people change out of those two things. I've seen it over and over again. They wait for the results to make them change, like a health issue or, a breakup or, some kind of incident in their life, a divorce or something that causes them to have to make a change. So they have a heart attack. They have a stroke, something like that. Something in their body in a full function of dis-ease caused the thing to happen to make them change. Now, what we'd be wise to do is to cooperate with the mind, set up on a self-image that is always seeking to do good. It's seeking to find the good. And by that, you give yourself like a protection. Okay, you're giving yourself a protection from the subconscious mind along with it. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to set up on a goal. You have to decide you want to have it. You have to become emotional about it and provide what the subconscious needs as belief. And it will start to then draw out of the mind all the experiences, all the things that are how the potential release is going to happen. Okay, and they come through the body as results. You have to understand all of your results are just more of what you put in the order for. If you say, I'm sick or I'm tired, you're going to get another round of sick and tired. If you say, I'm always running out of money at the end of the month, you're going to have another month worth of running out of the money. Okay, you got to build a self-image and always trust the framework. You got to believe that everything works by law and that it never fails. All you'd have to do to understand this is just see this ink pen. If I drop that, it's never going to go up. Okay, it works the same every single time. So what you got to understand, you got a thing that's happening all the time. You just need to program it. Okay, it's getting you and retrieving you things that'll cause events to happen, possibilities to open up, gaps to close. Everything in your life could happen but what you have to do, you have to be on frequency. You have to change the way your thought patterns work. You have to change the way you're sowing the seeds in your life. You need to sow seeds in gratitude. You need to sow seeds of thankfulness. You need to spend the time that you need to spend working on yourself for foundation. All this stuff is going to be, in a period of study. This is going to be where you're examining yourself, working on yourself, trying to read things, trying to learn the mentality of other people to get on the right frequency, learning balance in your life and humility, dealing with relationships that come along through this process. Okay, so you have to build a mental framework and build it like a blueprint for a house. No one shows up to build a house that they don't have a blueprint for. Wouldn't that be a state of confusion? You just invite everyone who's going to work out on the house out for the first day. You just get everyone out there. Guys, you come out to put the roof on, but you haven't got a roof yet. See all that disorder and dysfunction? The guys working on the pipe work the first day? No. All they're doing is building the framework the first day. Now they're building the foundation the first day. I built my house here. The first thing I done was build the blueprint. All right, that was the cheapest thing on the whole thing. All right, so just building the blueprint, trying to go through it and decide what we want. Every bit of that was necessary. Okay, you have to have that. You have to have the framework. Nothing attaches itself to something that doesn't have a framework. Okay, if you build a car, you got to have it. If you build a good relationship, you better try and have it. Right? You better agree on some things that you have that you're working towards. If you have kids, you better give it some rules and things to be able to for the child to grow. It's got to have it. Like if you don't if you don't, doesn't mean it's going to turn out right. If you ignore the process of order, chaos is imminent. It's going to happen. You're attaching yourself to all these everything else. If you don't have a goal, nothing can materialize. You'll never see it materialize if you don't pick a point of entry. So you have to pick a point of entry, and then you have to give it the coordinates. It's like driving a big boat. Right? You're driving an Atlantic cruiser and you're going somewhere overseas. Well, you got to give it coordinates and you got to put on the provisions. You got to send it with the right thing in mind. So you hit a right frequency, you get on the pathway that you want to go, you build a self-image, and you hold tight to the self-image, expecting that law will bring you everything out of the mind in possibility. So it's pretty simple. All you got to do is connect with it. Cooperation is what really brings this place of ease. Okay, cooperation, whether you're talking about relationships or the relay from the potential through you. Okay, and I'll say the potential, it is God. Okay, that's my idea about it. Anyone else can say the potential is, ever how they want to name it. God is what I say it is because that's what I believe about it. Okay, and so I think this potential has an expression which is good. Okay, and so I think God starts out that way, and then potentiality says it must be somewhere else too, so it's good. So it graduates into good. So cooperation brings ease, and the self-identity brings this ease. Okay, so you become more self-identified, and you become at ease on the inside with this framework that you start to trust. You're building it in potential, and you're building mental pictures of your personal identity. Okay, and just realize you cannot outperform your self-image. Okay, the image you hold of yourself, the mental picture that you hold of yourself, you cannot outperform it. It's a set of mental programs. Okay, a lot of them are paradigms, so you gained a lot of them on the way through when you were being taught by the people who raised you, and of course they were using a set of conscious behavior that was something they probably didn't understand about the mind. So they're just using in ignorance. They're teaching in ignorance things that they didn't realize they were teaching, and some of it comes from environment, some of it comes from just what they'd heard before. And they were just passing it down, and they certainly didn't mean anything by it. Just that was what you got, the hand you got dealt. But that just builds into a greater potential. Because the more that you have in your life that seems like something's an obstacle, is just more of an opportunity for you to have the relationship. Okay, some people they have real serious issues when they're coming up now. Myself, I went through some things, and I had to, try and grow through them. I got saved when I was 16 years old, right? And so I realized I had a help in me that helped me to try and make decisions, okay? There were people around me who tried to point me in the right direction, but they didn't have, all the answers to the things that I really was struggling with. And so that just builds in more potential, see, because if you have to unpack things through this relationship, right, this becoming that you're doing through this new programming, the trust in the new programming that comes from your individuality. That's the part where it's unique with you and God. That's the part where there's not another one like you. You're the center of divine creation. I want you to understand that. There's only one of you, so you got to be the center of it, right? You're the star, right? You just have to write the script that makes you the star. Okay, so what I want you to do is when you write your self-image, I want you to think of yourself that you can change your self-image. Okay, it comes through, like I told you got two ways to learn: through repetition and through emotional impact. Don't wait on the emotional impact. Go ahead and start making decisions right now that you're going to use the mind in its potentials and not live in ignorance, because ignorance is a state of dis-ease. Okay, it's lacking cooperation. The law says give and it shall be given. So if you don't do that part of giving, if you don't put in the order, everything just stands still and it becomes stagnant and diseased. It's like a pond that doesn't have an exit. It's like anything that doesn't have something flowing through it. It becomes diseased and vile. So you're built for inspiration and desire to move through you. Your cooperation to get along with it is the idea. And it wants to move. It's ready to move right now. In fact, if you'll just act on it, whatever the inspiration is, whatever the thing it is you want, if you just act on it and put a piece of paper in front of you and start writing out a goal, just start putting a connection to it. It's like giving it a birth. See, that's the first move. You have to allow things to come through you. Okay, they come through you. They come from this source, and they come through you. And how it comes through is design. All you have to do is write the script for how you want to act and then become the character who is the ultra star in it. And don't take less than what you want. And I'm Greg McCullough again. Thank you for showing up. Bye-bye.
Okay. I'm about to have a good day. I'm about to have a good day.